High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1.
Back here on this final high school sports talk before Christmas with Lynn Burke, filling in for the coach Ed Young. I am Matt Hatfield, Thomas Simmons on the other side of the glass, and we have a special guest with us on the line. He is the head boys basketball coach at First Colonial High School in Virginia Beach. Victorious the last two nights, in fact. They defeated Fuqua yesterday in the Atlantic Shores Christmas Classic, and they play in the championship of the Blue Bracket at 4:30 today against the host Seahawks of Atlantic Shores. We say good morning to Coach Mark Butts, and happy holidays as well. Coach, how you doing out there?
I'm doing fine, Matt. How you doing this morning? Lynn, how you doing?
Good.
Thanks for coming on the program. And for those that don't know, Mark Butts has been at First Colonial quite a while coaching basketball. But also, Lynn, if you're looking for the best artist in the area, this guy, and I'm talking about drawing pictures, this guy, you should see some of the portraits he draws. They are top-notch. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better coach that can draw than this guy.
Well, it just helps to relax me a little bit. Got some free time, waiting on practice after school, and I'll just get out the paint or the pen and just do a little artwork.
Well, two questions before we get to basketball. Number one, do you have a favorite portrait of anybody or anything subject that you've drawn? And number two, you think you could draw a picture of Lynn and me or Ed and me? You think that could be done?
Yes, that can be done. If you guys take a picture and you text it to me,
okay, I
can do you something there so you can hang up in your studio, all three of you guys.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And, yeah, You take the picture, you text it to me,
all right,
and I'll take care of you guys.
Awesome. We'll even throw Thomas in there too.
For my senior show at Virginia Wesleyan.
Okay.
We had to do a senior show, and I did a self portrait. So I kind of, all artists at some point do a self portrait. So I'm kind of partial to that.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, you mentioned Virginia Wesleyan. You're in the Virginia Wesleyan Hall of Fame, are you not?
Yeah, I went in the second class.
Okay, and he was a heck of a ball player back in the day. I think he said at the time, and he still made it. Is your single game scoring record of, was it 40 points? Is that still intact, or did that get broken by one of those Woodmore or Dare guys?
That got broken by Woodmore.
Oh, DJ Woodmore from Lansdowne broke it.
Yeah, it lasted for a long time, though, but I did it during my senior year. But, records are made to be broken, so, and plus, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Yeah, great young man who's now coaching as an assistant, I believe, at Averett University, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he left and went back to play.
Oh, did he? So he's playing overseas professionally.
Yeah, he went back last year. I saw him at a recruiting thing, and he said, he still had the desire to play. And I think he went back overseas. I told him, I said, you should play as long as you can. Play as long as you can, as long as you feel like it, and then because you can work the rest of your life. We all work the rest of our life.
Yeah, very true.
While you're young.
Have fun as long as you can do it, and then get to the real world.
Del Monroe's still playing, so, wow.
So, Mark, how many years is this for you at First Colonial?
I came to First Colonial in 98, the fall of 98. So I've been there, what's that, 20 years?
20 years.
It seemed like I spent my whole life in First Colonial. I went to school at First Colonial, so I know those halls pretty well.
I'm going to put your feet to the fire. Do you have a starting – now, you also coached before, people don't know, at Green Run High School, had some great teams. Plaxico Burris beat a Maury team that was unbeaten, the number one in the area in the regionals one year. Do you have a FC – and you're going to probably make your current players mad, but this will give them something to shoot for today. You got an FC starting five all-time in your 20 years there.
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah,
I know. In the middle, you got to go with Daryl Monroe.
Played at George Mason.
Hard pressed to find a better player than that. Probably at point guard would be Dante Terry, because he ended up playing. He played college basketball also at the Citadel.
Yeah,
and coached for a little while there. We had a forward that could just shoot the lights out. Jeff Servinghouse was a pretty good. He was a pretty good player. Those last two would be tough. You get so many good players that just, it's kind of hard to pick. It's like trying to pick your favorite child.
Yeah.
Austin Keenan go up there from your old days.
Yeah, we had to put Austin Keenan at the other guard. Yeah, so he would be. Because Austin kind of played, he was a mix between a point and a two. Because you wanted him to shoot a lot, and then he kind of ran the offense. So That's a pretty good backcourt. Yeah, Austin and Dante Terry would make a really good backcourt. Yeah, I forgot about. Yeah,
So
how can you forget about Austin?
Yeah, so we got 4 of the 5, which that means that the last spot, we'll get you on a cop-out. The last spot is up for grabs, which means that player has yet to solidify the 5th spot. So maybe it's a current guy or a future guy for you.
Hopefully. I hope it's a current guy. But it would have to be somebody real soon because I don't know how many more years I have in teaching and coaching. You know, you get to that point where, you know, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, speaking of current,
I still enjoy it. Just looking forward to spending some time. You know, I have 2 grandsons and a granddaughter, and looking forward to spending some time with them.
Grandkids are the best, no question about
yes,
that.
because you can always give them back after you.
Yes, happy to see them show up. Happy to see them leave.
They're here. Matter of fact, they're here now. They're coming in for Christmas, so I'm kind of looking forward to this weekend.
Oh, that's great. Of your current ball club, you know, who are your better players there? How's the season gone? Just give us a little overview.
We're starting to come together. You know, I lost my starting point guard with some personal reasons by the week before the season. You know, he had played with us all summer and all spring, and you know, and had the makings of a really good backcourt. But Jalen Goodwin, who's a starting quarterback, has stepped in. And he's playing better and better. He's, you know, because he hadn't played. He didn't play last year because of torn ACL, so he really hadn't played basketball for us. Last time he played was 10th grade. So, you know, and plus he doesn't do anything with us in the off season anyway because of football. So he's just getting his basketball legs back and starting to do a pretty good job for us at point. Shamar Yates, our 2 guard, is our second leading scorer, and he's a junior. And he's playing really, really well. He sort of like came into his own this summer, and he's averaging about 14 points a game for us. Had 18 last night, so he's doing a really good job. And actually had 16 against Ocean Lakes the night before. So he's playing really well for us. Have Javon Elderby in the middle. He's our leading scorer, averaging double-double. And he's averaging about 17 points a game, 10 rebounds. So he's really played well for us. And at the forwards, he has 6'7", Miles Harris, who's starting to come around. Started off a little slow, but has been playing really well these last couple of games. And then the other senior at the 3 spot is Logan Slick, who's starting to get into the groove also. So we're starting to play better. You know, really, you know, we had 2 close losses. So we could very easily be 5-3. We lost on the last-second dunk by Mark Williams against Norfolk Academy. You know, we're up by 1, and he slams in a rebound with 0.2 seconds on the clock. And we lost a close one to Nashville Suffolk Academy, up by 4 with 30 seconds to go. So, you know, we're right there. So today's going to be tough. I saw stayed and watched about a half of Atlantic Shores, and they were a really nice team.
They doing, for those who don't know, Mark Williams, the younger brother of former Princess Anne All-American and Duke standout now in the WNBA, Elizabeth Williams. Mark is 7 feet tall, Lynn, and he's already one of the top 100 players in the country for next year's class. So he's pretty darn good, to say the least.
That's a pretty good family.
My kids, you know how you tell the kids that, you know, you can't shoot this shot against them, you can't shoot this shot against them, because they don't really get the full effect of a 7-footer until you actually stand beside him.
Yeah.
And you realize how tall this kid is. And then when he puts his arms up, you know, he was well over 8 feet, you know, with a reach. It's like, yeah, he's going to be a good player. He's going to be a good get for whoever ends up signing him.
Yeah, in my opinion, he's the best junior in the area. If he's not, he's in the conversation for best junior in the area. We're talking with Mark Butts. He's the head boys basketball coach of the First Colonial Patriots. A couple of nice wins the last 2 nights, as they've got tonight at 4:30 in the Atlantic Shores Holiday Tournament. The host Seahawks of Atlantic Shores in the Blue Bracket Championship. It's high school sports talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1. Mark also a great standout and a Hall of Famer from Virginia Wesleyan with over 1,100 career points there, and was the 2007 Beach District and Eastern Region Coach of the Year. Coach, you mentioned those kind of standout players for you with Shamar Yates and Javon Ellaby, a double-double for you, Miles Harris. The scoring's starting to come for you. What's kind of the area that you want to sharpen up here as you head into the new year? And then, you kind of got beach play, Region 6A play, and perhaps this team could be looking at a regional berth.
Well, our biggest thing is just taking care of the basketball. We just too many live ball turnovers, unforced turnovers. So if we can shore up that part of the game, I think we're gonna be okay. The Beach District is tough. Kellum's playing better. Cox is playing better. The win they had over Lansdowne, of course Lansdowne's still very, very good. So it's going to be tough, and you're going to get a big portion of your regional teams from the beach. Well, because we have the most Division Sixes anyway. So really we're battling with teams in our conference for one of those spots. In all reality, because Grammy's doing well, Western Branch is doing well, Oscar Smith. So I think that's where the majority of the regional teams are going to come from, out of the beach. So the new year is going to be very, very important for us. And again, the turnovers. It's just cutting down on turnovers.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think right now is this team's strength? What's kind of your strongest suit to this point?
Well, right now, our inside game. Ellaby's pretty tough inside. He's a lot for a lot of people to handle, and sometimes a tough matchup for people. If you have a center that's too big and can't move, he puts the ball on the floor and goes by him pretty well. And of course, if you're going to put somebody smaller over him, he'll just overpower him. So our inside game is the strength of our game. But Shamar Yates gives us a little outside threat. He can put the ball on the floor. He has one of the best mid-range games that I've seen around. Not quite at what's the name's area to play at Kellum.
Trey Freeman. Yeah,
Freeman. Yeah, not quite at Freeman's level, because I thought he had the best mid-range game I've seen of a high school kid.
He was great
in 20 years. I don't know. You probably feel the same way.
I do.
And we keep focusing on that, this mid-range, and he does this very, very well. And then he can put the ball on the floor and take it to the hoop, and he can play a little point for us. We haven't played the off guard, but he's kind of a combo for us. So, but definitely the strength of our team, anybody will tell you, is inside play.
Coach, in your ball club, any college potential for Ellaby? Anybody else?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Any college basketball potential for Ellaby or anybody else?
Yes, Miles and Logan are getting a lot of Division III, Division III interest. Quite a few teams are interested, and Shamar has another year. Mm-hmm. Javon has had some D2 interest, so I think that'll pick up as the season goes on. Because this is really only his first full year with us. So hopefully the interest will continue to pick up.
Yeah, and he had a great finish to end the last season. Has picked it up right here to begin the 2018-19 campaign. Well, Coach, Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Before we let you go, we got to get favorite Christmas movie from Mark Butts. What is it? You got one?
The favorite who?
Favorite Christmas movie. You got a favorite Christmas movie you go to holidays this year?
I still think the original Home Alone was one of the best.
Right.
I guess you can call it a Christmas movie because it did happen during.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's still one of my favorites to watch. The first one, the original one.
All right, Home Alone is the vote for Mark Butts. Well, we thank you for the time this morning. Best wishes in the new year, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much for having me on, Matt, and I'm sure I'll see you at some court around here.
Yeah, you might even see me today. You never know. Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
That's Mark Butts with us, the head boys basketball coach at First Colonial, our guest here on High School Sports Talk here on ESPN Radio 94.1. When we return, we'll talk with Adrian Webb, head girls basketball coach at Menchville High and Newport News, right here on ESPN Radio 94.1.